And now, you're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's Reveler Sports.
Welcome into RBLR Sports, your new home for Tampa Bay sports commentary. My name is Yurika, and joining us is my man Musaab. Say hello to the Bay, my man.
How's it going, everyone? And thanks for having me, Yurika.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How's the week going so far?
It's been good so far. Just staying busy with work, enjoying the weather, and just trying to find time to to kick back and relax and watch some sports.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a crazy week in the Bay. I think some of the wildest dreams we couldn't imagine. I mean, the Rays are doing phenomenal in the playoffs. We'll get to them in a few. The Bucs season is in full swing. And even the Rowdies are getting ready to make a playoff run. But first and foremost, I don't know if you heard this, but the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup.
Of course I've heard this, man. It's all around the city. As soon as I turned my phone on after that win, oh man, I was overwhelmed. I was actually overwhelmed because of how many texts I had to reply to. My family, I had family, I have a cousin who lives in Orlando, who doesn't watch hockey, but he's messaging me, oh my gosh, congrats. I guess this is a really big deal. This is a big deal for your city, right? And I was like, absolutely. First of all, dude, we live in Florida, man. Ain't nobody plays hockey here. Second of all, I mean, this is the Stanley Cup we're talking about, all right? With basketball going on, Tampa doesn't have a basketball team. Rays being in the playoffs, so we're waiting on how that goes. So right now, it's all about hockey. And, we've been doing really well these last few years, but finally reaching to the Stanley Cup and, bringing it back home with us it's absolutely amazing. And also, I mean, I love the win. It was, we sealed it. It was a 2-0 win. And just seeing us already celebrate as the clock was going down, those last 5 seconds. I still remember, I forgot exactly which player it was, but he was going for the puck, and then saw the clock go down, 5-4. As soon as it was like 5-4, he just turned around. He goes, Dallas Stars, Dallas Stars, you can have that puck. I'm going on my team. We tossing our gloves off. Yeah. We're about to party.
Well, I was hoping they wouldn't penalize the Lightning because the horn hadn't even sound and everyone's at the center of the ice hugging.
You'd have to be a special kind of rude person. All right, I'll keep this clean. A special kind of rude person to be penalizing, the Lightning for that. It's one thing if they just won like a normal game, but I don't think it's Game 6 and it's the Stanley Cup.
I don't think that ref would have been able to leave the bubble for sure. He'd still be up there.
I don't think that ref would come out alive out of that ice.
So the Lightning win their second Stanley Cup in franchise history. The last time the Zappy boys won it was in 2004, and this playoffs was a gauntlet. I mean, every year the NHL over delivers. I think with quality, 1 through 8, every team is very, very good, and the Lightning were able to go through the Columbus Blue Jackets. Then they played the President's Trophy winning Boston Bruins and the New York Islanders. But it came down to Dallas, who I think was a very tough opponent. I think they were worthy of the challenge. And I think they were better, I guess you could say, than their 37-24-8 record. So, Musaab, how did the Lightning win the Cup? How did they beat the Dallas Stars?
First of all, I think we played a lot stronger. We were more aggressive. Credits to Dallas Stars for making it that far. I never, to be honest, never really followed the Dallas Stars ever. But I always heard that they were, they had their good games and bad games. So credit to them. But I think it's all about the strategy. I think the coach, he played his cards right. Is what I wanted to say with the lines, putting the right people on the right lines. I know a few times he would mix up the lines just to see how it would be. But I think the lines, especially in Game 6 specifically, because my eyes were just glued to that TV.
Yeah.
I'm watching exactly who's coming in and out because I really want to see, who's gonna have this chance. I do want to say it was really nice seeing, really nice seeing, first of all, um, the the attack that was going on.
Absolutely.
First and second period, our attacks were amazing. Dallas Stars also had some great opportunities. Shout out to the goalie, Mr. Vasilevsky, for
Yeah.
just the amazing blocks and just being a beast overall.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think it came down to there were three big keys that I took, and this it all comes down to fundamentals, okay? But the Lightning just had a suffocating offense. I mean, they controlled the puck, and mostly in the games that they did that, they won. So if you look at the 4 games they won, they had suffocating offense, they owned the power play, and they just had tremendous defense, especially with Vasilevsky in net. So, and it comes down to that. Sounds very simple, but if you control the puck, you outshoot your opponent, and if you don't give up anything on the power play end, or you just don't let them get shots on goal, if you have more chances, you get more goals. Very simply.
And I also want to say, I mean, as you're saying, they're suffocated by the offense. I want to add that, I think they're also suffocated by the defense. First of all, Vasilevsky was completely shutting out the Stars the whole series.
Yeah.
The Stars, I mean, yeah, they had their goals. I think probably allowed. I think in 4 games they allowed about maybe 8-9 goals. But Game 6. The Stars did have a lot of shots, but obviously none of them went in. Vasilevsky was completely shutting them out. But I also do want to say, I can't pull out the exact stat, but I do remember. I mean, I would say at least 65 to 75% of the time when I was watching, the Lightning had possession of the puck. They were completely dominant. Even if they lost it, they would gain it back really quickly. Even if they made some mistakes, they would get it back real quickly. So that was tremendous by them. I think also I really do appreciate how we were able to, even though you would see it by the Stars, but I would see it a lot. You would see one of our players, for example. You would see like Kucherov. They would shoot it. It would get blocked or something, but someone would get the rebound, pass it. Always working, passing it around, passing it all around the ice. Left to right, just seeing who's got that open slap shot. Opportunity. So that was really amazing by them. I think each line was performing absolutely perfect, and for the MVP, with Victor Hedman winning it I wasn't surprised. Obviously not being an attacker but being a defenseman, he did show how worthy he was on many of the occasions they scored, and when they didn't score, seeing how much he was helping them out. Being a big body, the dude's 6'6", and he's an absolute tank, and how quickly he can just flow back and forth down the ice. But I also want to give a shout out to Braden Point. Braden Point was an absolute star in my opinion.
Yeah, check this out. Braden Point. So that line was Point, Kucherov, Palat, and then Hedman was a lot of time defensively paired with them. Braden Point, 8 points, 5 goals in the Stanley Cup Finals. Throughout the whole playoffs, he had 14 goals, which is a Tampa Bay Lightning record. And the crazy stat here was the Lightning were 11-0 in games where Point scored a goal.
Wow. I know. Totally. That makes sense to me. He's and it's just so surprising just to see how. He's a young guy too. So we have plenty. I hope we have plenty of years with him as well.
Yeah.
But he definitely kind of ignited that fire. He was one of one of the players that ignited that fire that caused us to win. And definitely, I mean, I do want to recognize a bunch of other players who always had their opportunities.
Yeah.
Just someone who I saw. I mean, I know he wasn't a huge contribution, but I mean, I really did appreciate just the fact that he's only got a year on me. The dude's really young, and that is, excuse me, that is Mr. What's his name? I'm forgetting it. Oh yeah, no, I know his last name. Sorelli, Anthony Sorelli.
Okay.
The dude's only 23. Okay, and I used to just every single game I was watching, I would see the opportunities he did have. They were real good. So most of the time, unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete those opportunities. But I think he fits in real well with his line exactly. I think just being 23, I know he has a lot more to learn.
Yeah.
But I think I think he's gonna do big things.
Well, it takes the Stanley Cup playoffs are a grind, and so a lot of times you do go back when you look at a cup team, and you see that it does take everyone. It takes those fourth line guys. It takes those guys you just brought up from minor league hockey, because they have fresh legs. They're not hurt. They can put in a longer shift, or they can give your guys a little bit of a rest. And so when you have a guy like Stamkos that goes down, it does take a guy like Braden Point to step up to that level, but it also takes the role player coming in and making efficient time of their shift on the ice.
Absolutely.
So, man, it always works out this way. I can say that always now that we've won 2 cups. The last time we won the Stanley Cup, there was a lockout immediately. So there was almost no celebration. All of this momentum that we had in the Tampa Bay area. I mean, we had kids playing hockey out on the street, and then the lockout happened, and all of that momentum just tanked. And so now, of course, we're forced with the pandemic bubble, and we can't have a big celebration. I mean, I guess they tried to do a little thing at the stadium, but
yeah,
it always seems that when some crazy big thing is about to happen or is happening, that's when the Lightning win the cup. That's such a Tampa Bay thing that even when we get our championship, yeah.
Even that being a crazy year, 2004 for hockey, I know the Bucs won the Super Bowl in 2000 and I think either 3 or 2004.
It was 2001.
Oh, it was 2001. Oh,
yeah. Because they played the Raiders that year, and that was the year
I thought it was 2003.
No, hold on. No, it was 03, because I'm thinking very, very dumb, and I'm going to edit this out.
No, it's fine.
No, I won't.
It's fine.
No, it was 03. I'm an idiot, so. But yeah, it was like you're right. Bucs had just won the Super Bowl, Lightning win the Cup, and I think the Rays were still wearing their rainbow jerseys. No, they had just switched to the hunter green, and Scott Kazmir was just coming in. So, but speaking of the Rays, we're gonna get into their win over the Toronto Blue Jays and advancing to the ALDS against the New York Yankees. But first, me and Musaab are going to go over your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how they've been doing so far, and how they look going into this week's matchup with the Los Angeles Chargers. All that and more after a short break. Welcome back into RBLR Sports. I'm your boy Yurika here with Musaab. And Musaab, we have a great matchup coming up this weekend with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home with hopefully some fans in the stands as they take on the second in a row AFC West opponent in the Los Angeles Chargers. So how have the Bucs been doing so far in this season?
Well, let's start off with first week, and let's start off with the season actually, which is they've been all the preseason games were canceled, due to this pandemic, COVID-19. So it's not like anyone had the chance to kind of to play out their rookies, to play out any of their maybe backups, just to see how the situation is and how the team's clicking. So first game, the Bucs are going into the New Orleans Saints. And we got to remember that we got Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, McCoy, and we got Gronkowski, and then we have our rookie pickups, like Antoine Winfield, Tristan Wirfs. So we have all these new players coming into our team. We haven't played any real game with them yet. We probably done some scrimmages at camp, but now we're playing against the New Orleans Saints. Now, obviously, before, the game even started, I had a feeling New Orleans Saints were definitely going to be somewhat good, if not, great. I knew for a fact, they weren't going to be playing, horrible. So I was looking looking for a good game. I think the first things I have to say is chemistry, team chemistry, no matter, who we have. I love Tom Brady. I mean, respect him, amazing guy, GOAT. But it's not like he can just pull up and just be dropping dimes and make a huge difference. Game one. It's all about how the rest of the team was going to click. And even if the rest of the team did click with him, during training camp or whatever in scrimmages, that's cool. But as time goes on. When you're scrimmaging against your own teammates, you already know how they're gonna play. So it's now we're playing real games against real opponents who we don't know much about. And second of all, a little who knows how much Winston gave assistance to the Saints is what I'm thinking as well. Because we're talking about our starting quarterback now going to the Saints and playing backup. I'm sure he gave them a little tips and insight as to what our Bucs do and all that. But I do also want to say we're looking a little rusty. Mike Evans was contained, by the secondary units. Godwin was doing okay. Gronkowski, he was doing a decent job at the blocks, but I was expecting him to, get some more touches and, make something happen with the ball. But, that's okay. And then now with our running backs, we got Ronald Jones, McCoy, and Leonard Fournette. Obviously, we have Ronald Jones as our starter and as our main guy. But, looking at these last few games, we can even see that Fournette might be, taking over. So first, game one was an interesting game. I think also we have to realize and find the importance that the New Orleans defense was really coming at us, and coming at us as I mean the offensive line. So what I'm thinking is we as in the team, and with Tom Brady being kind of the older quarterback, I mean he's got the great vision, but he's not quick on his feet, and we have to make sure that he stays protected at all times. And I think he was looking a little shaked up, banged up, or whatever, and just realizing how much these Saints are coming at him may have caused him to hesitate and throw some interceptions. But that's okay, because week 2 came. We played against the Panthers.
Yeah, have to be.
Obviously, wasn't expecting the Panthers to do too much. Was a little fearful about Christian McCaffrey. But have to be. But with our Buccaneers defense, our defense was looking decent. I wasn't noticing them too much with game 1, but game 2, that's when I really started noticing them. I want to give a shout out to Antoine Winfield. Our rookie, that's when I really saw him kind of step up to the plate. Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, Nakamadong Su. We got a great lineup. So I really love that. That's when I really saw that defensive line being able to stop Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, McCaffrey still performed quite well until his injury. But I mean, then again, he is Christian McCaffrey, so I was expecting something like that. But I am very happy that the secondaries were able to contain, the wide receiver units. And our team played overall quite well with our quarterback Tom Brady, throwing one touchdown. He had an interception, which was a little kind of an easy mistake that can be fixed, but that's fine though. Because of that, Leonard Fournette was able to pick up the work. 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was, the primary running back, and we had Ronald Jones right behind him. But I think just seeing how Leonard Fournette was with that ball that game, I think he was just showing that what his job was, and he was getting the job done. Exactly what I'm trying to say. And Mike Evans, stepped up. He got his touchdown. And speaking of wide receiver units, I do want to say also it was nice seeing Chris Godwin. Well, not Chris Godwin. I mean Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller step up a little bit. He got some touches in there. And that leads to, that led to us, winning 31-17. And that leads us to our third game, which is our Buccaneers and Broncos. Buccaneers-Broncos game was looking good. Tampa Bay was taking control the whole time, okay? Denver's offense couldn't do much, as, the offensive line was completely, obliterated by Tampa Bay's pass rush defense. As I said before, we already have, we got some great guys, Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh, and, with that pass rush pressure leads to our secondary stepping up. So now we got Mike Edwards with that pick six, and then we have Antoine Winfield just with some major stops. And being a rookie, he's been performing absolutely amazing. And I do want to give another shout out to him again for the congrats for winning Rookie of the Month. He's been playing stellar. I love the way.
I'd agree with that.
I'm so happy, first of all, that we were able to pick him up, because I think that is someone who we needed, along with Tristan Wirfs, to protect Tom Brady. So really happy Antoine Winfield was here. My takeaways from Game 3, the most recent game against Denver Broncos, was I think the Buccaneers won just because they were the better team from the start to finish, first of all.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think I really do like that Bruce Arians was making sure that we were able to get the ball rolling immediately, and we weren't gonna slow down. I think that's something I liked. And it's really nice to see that we have Fournette, McCoy, and Ronald Jones being able to kind of change back and forth. We get fresh legs for our running backs all the time. And second of all, Mike Evans and Scotty Miller doing a great job at the wide receiver position. Beautiful performance by Scotty Miller. First of all,
Yeah, I think he's another one of these guys in the mold of the Wes Welker, Julian Edelman.
That's what I was about to say.
Just these guys they'll grind it out in the slot. They'll cross the middle. They'll do all the dirty work, I guess, that you have to do to pick up 6 yards at a time, 8 yards at a time. Although Miller did have that really long 47-yard completion last game.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think people have said before. I've read some analyst reports and just some stuff like that. I've been talking to some friends who are also huge Bucs fans, and they're thinking, hey, with Godwin out, our wide receiver unit's looking a little shabby now. Unfortunately, we got Scotty Miller, who's out right now with the hip groin injury.
Right.
That's not really, I can't really say too much right now as to how that's going to be looking. But Godwin, I'm pretty sure is going to be out, because a hamstring injury like that's going to cause him to, be missing the game. And then second of all, we got Justin Watson out. So our wide receiver unit's going to be looking interesting. I am expecting that the Chargers defense won't be able to contain Mike Evans. Hopefully not that much, like, someone like the Saints would.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really looking forward to. But I'm also thinking future-wise, we are able to protect Tom Brady. That is something that's been on my mind. Our defense is not something I'm worried about anymore. Our secondaries is looking solid. I'm hoping we fix our we tweak it up a little bit, fix our mistakes, which aren't too bad, aren't too costly yet. But I have to say the Chargers, they're seeking also as well to overcome a number of injuries to key players.
Oh yeah,
one being first of all Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor became the first player other than Phillip Rivers to start at quarterback for a very long time. I think probably dating back to 2006, 2007. Yep. When Phillip Rivers was just been the dominant quarterback and first string, and no one's ever taken his role. Unfortunately, Tyrod Taylor's streak has been much shorter than anyone thought it would be, causing Mr. Justin Herbert to step up to the plate, and he's been doing decent. I do want to say I think he would be getting a lot more respect had that Chargers game gotten a little different against Kansas City. I thought Kansas City really pulled away with luck, and thanks to Harrison Butker, I'm hoping he probably. I'm sure they treated him really nice to a nice dinner or something for that game-winning kick. Because I just can't imagine the Chiefs losing to the Chargers, and then seeing what the end result is. Now the Panthers are beating the Chargers, so now you're thinking, wow, what kind of team lost to the Chargers? But anyways, I think this game is looking good. Both sides got some injuries, but I think the Bucs should be able to pull away. It's gonna be an injury. It's gonna be what's the right word? It's gonna be a game where you're gonna see where the injuries are really kind of taking effect.
Yeah, how deep is the bucket?
How deep is the bucket? And in addition to Taylor's recent absence, the Chargers have also had to put, safety Derwin James.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Defensive end Melvin Ingram, and now as we were talking about Chris Harris Jr., on the injured reserve. Yeah. Those three combined have been, they're stars. They've all been to the Pro Bowl, so you combine them all. That's a lot of Pro Bowl appearances. So, but enough about the Chargers, because let's talk about our Bucs and how we're looking. I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what do you think? LA maybe on defense. How are Tom Brady and the Buccaneers going to attack the LA defense?
How they're going to attack the LA defense is, I think, first of all, we're going to be working with our tight ends. I think our tight ends are going to be stepping it up. I did see some action from O.J. Howard and Gronkowski, both of them last game. And also, I'm hoping, our wide receivers, Mike Evans, and I'm praying maybe Scotty Miller can, get better in something. But we also have a trio of running backs to get more involved on this attack.
Yeah.
They're gonna be stressing on their wide range of weapons, which is something that Tom Brady needs to be smart about, and same thing with Bruce Arians. Meanwhile, the Bucs defense has only allowed one. The Bucs defense has only allowed one touchdown drive, and it's been keeping the game out of reach in the second half for the Panthers and the Broncos. So if Brady and the offense, they do continue to keep clicking, working together, making sure that chemistry is right, working on, first of all, also protecting Tom Brady as well. I think, we should definitely be scoring, which is, I think, something that is my worry, because defense-wise, I think I don't see any huge threat. I think, if anything, we need to just make sure that we don't give time to Justin Herbert. Yeah. And second of all, I think we need to make sure we pressure on Austin Eckler or
Eckler.
Eckler. Yeah. We make sure we pressure on him, because that's gonna be, he is a wide receiver / running back kind of player. And that's something I'm a little worried about when it comes to our secondaries. Are our secondaries going to be quick enough to recognize, is someone like Austin Eckler going to be rushing now, or is he going to be receiving?
Yeah.
So in summary, Our offense, we need to work on protection of Tom Brady. We need to give more time to Tom Brady. I'm hoping Mike Evans, Gronkowski, and OJ Howard, we make something happen. We make some magic. All these guys have had experience. Specifically, I'm hoping Gronk is improving, not expecting too much immediately just because the guy's been retired. But OJ Howard and Mike Evans, they really need to step up now more than ever because we have some key injuries. And second of all, I'm thinking with our defense, we need to just continue the pass rush aggressiveness. And with our secondaries, I'm hoping Antoine Winfield, Mike Edwards, people like these guys were able to, identify the weaknesses that we have immediately, in the start of the game, and make sure we pick up on those and make sure we stop. We pressure Justin Herbert and we make sure we stop Austin Eckler.
Yeah, one thing is you keyed on it is that with both teams having key injuries, it really is that first quarter where you see the game plan and then you make your adjustments. And one thing that's really, really encouraging is that the LA offensive line, they gave up so much pressure. And you got a rookie quarterback back there, and that created multiple fumble turnovers. And as much pressure as you can put on a rookie quarterback, that's going to just lead to success. We're hoping that our Tampa Bay Rays are going to be able to put pressure on the New York Yankees the same way they put pressure on the Toronto Blue Jays. And we'll have more on all things baseball after this break.
Welcome back to RBLR Sports. This is Musaab, and I am with Yurika. All right, Yurika, we've talked Bucs, we've talked Lightning. Now tell me about the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, man, it's been a really weird postseason having so many teams, but the first round, this wild card round, has been really their sets of three, but you've seen intense games so far. The Rays started out against the Toronto Blue Jays, and the first game was Blake Snell on the mound, and immediately it was apparent that he came to bring that Cy Young level quality. I mean, in the first inning, Blake Snell strikes out Craig Biggio and Vladimir Jr. So then he follows that up in the second inning with two more strikeouts. And it wasn't until the fifth inning that he even gave up a hit. So the first part of this game was a pitcher's duel between Matt Shoemaker for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he had three really good innings, but the Blue Jays took him out, and he got into a little bit of trouble, but immediately after taking out Shoemaker, that's when the offense just opened up for the Rays. Randy Arozarena gets on base with a triple. There was a passed ball on the very next at bat, and that scored Arozarena as he stole from third. But after that, it was really just the Toronto Blue Jays trying to crawl back into the game now that the Rays opened it up. Anderson came in for Snell, and he continued to throw really, really good pitches. He struck out a couple guys, and you started to see Manuel Margot get hot. He had a home run, actually scoring two is a two-run home run, extending that lead to 3-0. And then right after that, they were clamping down. Bo Bichette, I guess, had the one ray of hope for Toronto as he got an RBI. And that was the final thing. They were able to score one run, but it really, really was Blake Snell's dominant performance. He had 5 innings, he almost went 6, but I mean, you have him going he only gave up 1 hit, had 2 walks, 9 strikeouts overall in 5 2/3 innings pitch. When a pitcher has a performance like that, it doesn't really matter who's going against him. Kind of when you have it, you have it, and it's a reason why he's a former Cy Young winner. Were you able to catch that game?
Yeah, no, I was able to see. Game one with Blake Snell just totally just going off, and even game two, I heard my buddy was telling me Snell and Tyler Glasnow were super sharp. Glasnow basically, taking out 8 Blue Jays over 6 innings, and Snell also kind of just holding them down, making sure no one gets any runs or anything. So what I see so far, I only have so much to say, at least as of right now, about the Tampa Bay Rays, as we have power, and going against the Yankees. Now it is like, now the way I'm seeing it is it's really nice to see that out of the 10 games that the Rays did go against the Tampa Bay the Tampa Bay Rays did go against New York Yankees. We won 8 out of 10 of them.
Absolutely.
But now playing, now being a team that we played 10 times, I won't be surprised if they can kind of identify what we're good at and what we're not. But at the end of the day, I think with it being a power versus power kind of battle, it's going to be all about who's going to wear out the other team first, who's going to be sharp, and who is going to be at the end of the day going to the next round.
Yeah. The power for the Rays is definitely the three-headed monster of Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, and Charlie Morton, who would have been in Game 3 if we had needed one. I mean, just those 3 guys, that's your rotation. Especially in a 5-game series, which is what they're about to have against the Yankees. Hopefully that is the equalizer for the power bats of the Yankees, but the Rays, they showed some power as well. I mean, the last game against the Blue Jays, Mike Zunino had a 2-run home run. Hunter Renfroe had a grand slam in the bottom of the second, and it really just put the game out of reach. After the first couple innings, it was pretty much decided. So we're hoping that those are your guys that are going to be able to come in against a powerful pitching like Garrett Cole for the Yankees. If he's not the best pitcher in the game right now, he's one of the best, hottest right now in the playoffs. So I think that important things as the Rays go against the Yankees here is that, we did win 8 out of 10 games this year, but this is the first ever postseason meeting between the Yankees and the Rays. So I wonder the mental aptitude, or the fortitude, I should say, of a team that has had a really, really hot past, like in terms back in August on the 9th. The Rays sent a message that they weren't forgetting about what happened to them at the end of last year, even with CC Sabathia on the mound, throwing at guys and hitting guys. And there was some bench clearing, almost brawls that have happened, but just been simmering there. Well, Aroldis Chapman in September sent a 101-mile-an-hour fastball at the head of Mike Brosseau to say, hey, buddy, you guys are still the little kids. We're the big guys at the table. Now, all Mike Brosseau did after that was hit 2 home runs and, sent him home crying. And I'm hoping that is what continues to happen in this series. So I think it's going to be a fun a series to watch as a fan. But like you said, you look at these guys for the Yankees. You've got Giancarlo Stanton. You've got Gleyber Torres, Aaron Judge, and of course Garrett Cole on the mound. That's really the big pitching problem that I see. Other than once you get to the closing it out with Chapman, but I think there's an area in the middle where if you can control the power hitting of Judge and Stanton, and you can keep guys that have been not so good during the shortened season, like Gary Sanchez. Super slump for Gary Sanchez, but in the last 2 games against the Cleveland Indians, he's actually feast or famine, I guess. I mean, we're hoping that doesn't show up, but he has been okay against Blake Snell. But he hasn't been so good against Tyler Glasnow, and I think that Charlie Morton is always a bad matchup for guys like Sanchez and Gleyber Torres, another one of these kind of feast or famine guys for the Yankees. So all in all, I think that the Rays are going to present a lot of problems for the Yankees. And if the Yankees aren't able to hit multiple run dingers, I don't know if they can grind out the 1-0, 2-0, 3-2 win. I think that if they're able to tee off on the starting pitching or somehow get into that bullpen, maybe the Rays trip up. But all in all, I think the Rays have the momentum. And I think we'll see on Monday exactly how we match up in the postseason against the Yankees.
It should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. Now that obviously the Lightning, they're going to be taking a rest, and the Bucs will they only play on Sundays. So it's going to be fun, to be watching another Tampa Bay team on the weekdays.
Yeah, well, here's the crazy thing. Monday's game 1, and there's no days off. Game 2, Tuesday. Game 3, Wednesday. And if there's a game 5, it's on Friday. So by in a week's time, this show's coming to you on Friday. In a week's time, we either will be in game 5 or the series is already over, and we'll be talking about who we're playing next. That's crazy.
That is. Personally, I mean, if I was a baseball player, I would feel like that'd be a lot for me. But being a fan, I love it. I love not waiting.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
not waiting for my Tampa Bay teams. I was really happy to see, that the Lightning had one of their games just immediately the next day. I think it was Game 4 and Game 5. Game 4 happened on like Friday, and Game 5 happened on Saturday. Sunday they took a little rest, and Monday they were back at it with Game 6. So yeah, I enjoy. Especially during a pandemic like this,
exactly.
It's something to look forward to. So it's gonna be fun. I look forward to it. I think there are many people who are very hopeful that the Rays will make it, to the finals. Those that I have heard have been saying, it's gonna be Rays Dodgers. So I mean, we'll see how it is.
We'll see.
I'm just gonna keep praying and hoping. I'm just hoping the Rays, start off with a bang. The Yankees are not gonna be an easy win.
No.
So I think that as long as we come out strong and we stay dominant, we tire them out. I think a win against the Yankees, whether it be in 4 or 5, how many games. It's going to make a statement that, the Rays are serious. We mean serious business. So, we'll see how it goes. I look forward to it on Monday.
Oh, absolutely, man. And one thing I can say is that we are super appreciative of you, the listener, for taking your time out of your day. I hope that this gets you ready for this weekend. I hope this gets you ready for the week coming up with the Rays and the Bucs. And as you take a sip out of your little mini Stanley Cup, sip of beer for the working man. Once again, we cannot thank you enough. If you can take a little bit more time and remember to subscribe to this show, this channel on all available podcast apps. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. If you give us that 5-star review, it helps us out a lot, and it gets us into more people's feeds. It gets us more attention. And that means that we can continue to make awesome shows like this. Musaab, man, anything for us before we go?
All I have to say is we really do appreciate you listening to us, and we always will love any feedback you have to give us.
Absolutely.
We'll be making some contact, social media information in the future. But thank you again for giving us a chance. especially a shout out to all my, my Tampa Bay fans who are actually in the area.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Talking about this podcast right now and something like, the Rays hopefully winning next week and the Lightning winning this week.
Yep.
I mean, I can imagine how you're feeling right now, especially the ones who are living in like Tampa, not the ones living in Clearwater or the ones living the ones living in Wesley Chapel or Largo or Tarpon Springs, Pasco County. I mean, respect to you guys, but I mean, I can't imagine what it's like, living only a few miles away from downtown Tampa. Because I've seen the Snapchat videos, the Instagram videos, Facebook videos. It's been nuts, but it is really nice to see that the city is really happy, regardless of a pandemic that's been kind of killing the vibes.
Oh man, well, and I'll add on to that too. Is that for everyone here, Tampa local, it's just been insane. But I've seen posts from the distant thunder all around the world, really, as the Bolts have been bringing it home, and I that wave of energy is now just instantly been transferred over to the baseball side with the Rays. So on social media, it's been going crazy, and I hope this has been your little slice of home. If you're out on the West Coast or up in the North or somewhere where you still want to be connected to your hometown team. That's what we do here, man. So I really, really appreciate you listening to this episode. We will be back next Friday with all of the coverage of all of your favorite teams here at RBLR Sports. If you check us out on social media, it is at RBLR Sports on all forms of social. And once again, subscribe, and there may be a little voicemail message that you can give us next week. We're working on it. We'll have a phone number, and then we want to hear from you. We want to hear your comments and your questions for Musaab and myself. So thank you once again, and we will see you later.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.